So the fire was in our compost storage barn, where we store compost all winter long, because obviously our weather is not conducive to screening it in the winter time. So as the vessels and the compost is produced here all winter, we put it in this storage barn to hold it until springtime, summertime, when we can screen it and then sell it to the public at a very reasonable cost. It's Class A exceptional quality. It can be used in anything, and obviously under the right circumstances, atmospheric temperature, the right wind, everything being perfect, it caught on fire. Stuff heats up to like 180 some degrees when we're, so to speak, cooking it, kill all the pathogens so it can be used by the general public. And so we have to cool it down, and sometimes, obviously we've been doing this since 2010. This is the first time this has ever happened. Sometimes, the right circumstances will not allow it to cool down enough. It can catch on fire, as any compost can.
You are talking spontaneous combustion, in essence.
Yep. Basically, that's what you're talking. I mean, it's not like it goes poof like that. It's more like it's a smolder, so it's slow. So it's probably been too hot in there for quite some time, and until we broke into that side, which probably wasn't going to happen for another 3-4 weeks, we would have never known that, and everything was just perfect that allowed it to actually catch on fire. And then, of course, it caught the wood structure of the top part, because the bottom part of this storage facility is all concrete. The top part is wood. It's a real wood structure on top, and so it caught that one east side of the barn on fire. We had a crew in here yesterday that shored it all up so that we can still go into that barn. It doesn't look like the trusses themselves have been damaged. I have actually a board meeting tonight, so I'm sure that the board will be discussing this at length and what we want to do, and I'll be contacting our insurance company to see what they want us to do. Quite honestly, maybe it's just better to take the roof off and not have a roof on there so that you don't have to worry about this. That's what happened. It can happen with any kind of compost, kind of combustion thing that can go on. We've been lucky that it hasn't happened before. No one was hurt. Low property damage. There's no alarm system out there at that barn because it's not necessary, right? The rest of the facilities all got alarms on it. Someone saw, and we have a lot of people that walk down this street and bring their dogs down here to walk, and outside our gates. Someone saw it, saw the flames coming out the side of the barn, called 911. I was told that a 131 person was driving by. 911 was told that it was a garage fire. One of the members of 131, I don't even know who it was, but this is what I was told, drove down the road to see where the fire was, see if he could be of any assistance or whatever, and then realized and called the fire department and said, it's the wastewater treatment plant. Just so happens that one of my employees, who was on call, was out having dinner or whatever with one of the firemen, the younger fireman at Ishpeming, and when he found out it was a wastewater plant, he, of course, left and went to the fire. We found out it was a wastewater plant. He called RJ and said, you better get to the plant that's your facility on fire. RJ called myself and called Paul, assistant director, and there you have it.
Tell me how unique this plant is in Michigan.
We are the only one in Michigan who composts all their biosolids. In Michigan, there's only one other place that composts that I know of, and when we started this back in 2010, that composts their biosolids, and that's the Midland Wastewater Plant, and they do a windrow, which is your normal kind of composting. We wanted to compost all of our biosolids. We wanted to discontinue taking it to the landfill where we were taking it and paying to dispose of it. And so we found this place called ECS out of Seattle, Washington. And they build these vessels so that you can do it in the cold weather. And it's like baking a cake. You mix it, the right amount of biosolids with the right amount of wood chip, and it heats it up, and it has to be at 131 degrees for 3 days consecutively. And it has to be at 113 degrees for 14 days, but that doesn't have to be consecutive. So we mix it up, we put it in the vessel, it cooks for we like to keep it in there anywhere from 40 to 50 some days. We take it out, and in the winter months, because you can't screen it, we store it in the barn. And then come spring, we screen all of it, and we sell it to the public. Because of the way it's heated up, it can be used in your home gardening for any kind of vegetable garden or whatever you want. It gets so hot when it's in there that we actually have, when it's in the vessels, we actually have to cool it down because it can get up to like 180 some degrees in there. Compost that was on fire. I mean, there's going to be probably a little bit more ash in it, but that's going to give you more probably potassium. It's not going to be a total loss. We'll still screen it. We have to dry it out obviously because the firemen soaked it, which of course they had to make sure it wasn't that hot anymore and not start again. So it'll take some time to dry it out. We'll spread it out in the barn. The barn is not a total loss. We had it shored up. However, I think that there's going to be some discussion on whether or not we want to have a wood top to a barn on a place that obviously can ignite. There's more concrete in that pole barn than there is wood. The top structure, like the concrete goes up probably 5-6 feet in there. So it goes up for that far as the concrete, which would be perfectly fine, and then there's a wood structure